weeks of gas prices going up, and now the average has risen about 80 cents. The least expensive is in Red Banks, where it's $2.89. The least expensive in the Jackson Metro is $2.99 at a station on Northside Drive. A picture of a bag of weed that was posted to the Yazoo County Sheriff's Department Facebook page after the driver of a car was seen tossing that bag out while speeding down West 2nd Street after seeing a deputy. The deputy, according to the Post, got enough info that the department expects to have an arrest warrant today. More news in 1 hour on 103.9 WYAB. I'm Chris Davis.
The views and opinions expressed.
Happy Monday, everyone. Welcome into the Lindsey Beckham Show. It is a cold Monday, much different than the weather that we had last week. I hope everyone stayed safe last night in the storms that came through our area. We are live here in the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi Studios, right here in the heart of Flora, the Cotton Exchange Plaza. 601-879-0002 is the number if you would like to call into the show today. 601-879-4648 is our text line, and I accidentally left my phone in the car, so I might not see your text. If you text during the show, you may actually have to call. We are joined today by one of our favorite members over in the house, Mr. Fred Shanks. Hey there, Fred.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm just texting our friend Jonathan, Representative McMillan right now as he's chiming in on my camera position.
Is he telling you it's up your nose? You got to know how to do it. You got to.
Yeah. He's letting me know. He's keeping up.
You look. I'm so proud to know that Jonathan listens to my show.
He is. He's watching right now. So.
He told me the other day. He said, "Look, you scared me a little bit when I was running." I was like, "Well, that's what I'm supposed to do. I got to keep it in check."
He didn't know.
I know he didn't know me before that. I'm just kidding. Yeah, you look like Shaun over there. Clay and I always look at the cameras, and Shaun will have his face down in like the
exactly.
And we're like, no, you gotta have it right.
We're kindred spirits. I'm just like, as long as I can see myself and hear myself, we're just gonna let it rip.
Absolutely, Fred. It has been one heck of a session so far, and look,
it has.
The saying is nothing is ever dead in Mississippi legislature until it is dead. Now, I have changed that. I say nothing is ever dead in the Mississippi legislative session until sine die.
You're very accurate on that. When I first got in, Senator Dean Kirby told me that. He's kind of a mentor of mine. He said that I didn't really know what he meant. And
I won't hold that against you, Fred.
Like I said, I was like, what is it? How is it not dead? What do you have to say 3 times? And he was right. And then I would say at this point, you're right. Things have a strange. They'll pop back up.
2 sessions ago, after conference weekend, even you, Fred, you suspended the rules and you brought back some legislation that I worked on the Safer Act. So, it can even come back that late in the game.
Absolutely. We, being the rules chairman, you can make a rule to change a rule. You can do anything you want as long as you can do anything you want as long as you got the votes. So
absolutely. Well, there have been a lot of contentious issues, I would say.
Yeah.
This legislative session, starting with school choice, teacher pay raise, and the new don't even get me talking about that because that's way out of my league. I have no idea what any of that means, but the teacher pay raise, the back and forth, and now the PBM reform. So tell us, what's going to come out of the session? What do you think?
Well, this one it's been real frustrating. And this is probably kind of like you were saying, this has been the most contentious session I've been in 9 years now, and this has been the most contentious one I've ever been a part of. And wherever you're at I know where you're at, but whatever side you are on, like school choice, that is a huge policy. And it came out at the very beginning of the session in the Senate. They did something the first day. We followed maybe, a week or so later or 2 weeks later. And I don't remember a huge policy like that coming at the very beginning of session before.
I've never seen that happen.
Yeah. And, usually you'll get all your other things kind of squared away and then focus on that. So, it kind of changed the whole dynamics of just the session, and kind of sucked the air out of the room, really. There was so much focus on it, and then, kind of playing catch up, so to speak, on everything else. Although we do, we have been working on a lot of different things, but it just, that kind of overshadowed everything. And it's been interesting for sure. So, and
Yeah.
yes, back and forth, like it seems like every hour
It,
something, is popping up.
it truly, truly does. And like, I think it's kind of comical. I had Chad McMahon called in Friday, and we discussed kind of what went down on the Senate floor with the PBM reform bill
That's
Thursday
the
afternoon.
Chad, the
That's
Chad,
the Chad. Oh, excuse me.
correct.
I'm so sorry. But I said, I guess hell has frozen over, Chad, because I never thought I would see some of you senators over there say, "Give us the House bill back."
Oh yeah. Well, in fact, I on the way, I just got to the Capitol, and on the way over here, I was listening to the other radio station, and um, Senator Bryce Wiggins was on there talking about the PBM bill, and he wants, he voted
House
no
version.
on it, but he wants the House version. So,
We don't see that
and
happen often.
yeah. So yeah, it has been very interesting to say the least. Absolutely. So.
Yes, it absolutely has. When is conference weekend?
I'm not quite sure. I think we only have about 4-ish weeks left. So it'll be coming up. I mean, we're working on appropriations bills right now, kind of finishing that up. Obviously, everything we've had is in the Senate, and all their stuff's over here. And we're still kind of ironing out a few things, and then conference week will be shortly after that. So, and then, we'll be out of here. Um, Obviously, like you had already mentioned, the teacher pay raise, that's a big one, going back and forth on that. That'll go to conference and get the details ironed out there.
Do you think that will happen? You think details will get ironed out?
On that, I do. I think there will be something. I don't know what it looks like. The House was at $5,000 one time. The Senate's at $6,000, stretched out over 3 years, like $2,000 a year. So that's kind of where it's at. But yeah, I think something will be probably in the middle, if I had to guess. Um, I, as of today, who
Yeah.
knows? And then go
Go ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to get to like the PBM reform it'll go to conference as well. I think it'll come out. The And if your listeners don't know, if you're an independent pharmacist, you absolutely know what it is. But a PBM is a pharmacy benefit manager, and that's kind of the world that I came from in my previous life. But basically, when you go take your prescription to the pharmacy, you hand it to the pharmacist, they shoot it to your insurance company. It goes through a PBM, which is just a switch, and they collect a fee. Well, what's happened is that the CVS's and the big chains have bought the PBM. So they want to say, well, hey, Lindsay, we're not going to pay for your medicine at this independent pharmacy, which you've been going to for 15 years and you like,
Mhm.
they're a part of your community. You have to go to CVS, or you have to go here, and you don't want to do that. And then you're going to have to wait, hours and hours. And then also what they'll do is they'll come, uh, they will send back. The PBM has cut a deal with the drug manufacturer and obviously the insurance companies, and they will. I mean, I saw it every day when I worked at Brandon Discount Drugs. It was every day they would send back, and it would be less than what we paid for the medicine. But if you're coming in, you're a good customer, we're just going to eat it and let you go. And then once a year, they'll do an audit on you, and they'll audit the pharmacy, and they will do what's called a clawback, and they will find something. And I'm talking numbers, hundreds of thousands to in the millions of what they're going to claw back. And what it's going to do ultimately, there won't be a
Down.
independent pharmacy
Yeah.
anymore.
There will be
So
no mom and pop
no,
pharmacies
no,
that are around
and
the corner
that's
that know you
who's
by name.
sponsoring
Yeah, they know
the
you by
ball
name. They know your
teams,
kids. Yeah, they
right?
sponsor the ball teams.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Taking care of our parents and grandparents. And I can't remember how many times we would go up at night and meet people and open the door at midnight. Somebody's getting out of the hospital,
Yeah.
and well, try that at a CVS or Walmart. They're gonna laugh at you.
Yeah.
That you're never even gonna talk to a pharmacist there. So, but yeah, that's something I've been working on for years. And yeah, we have a vehicle now. It's not perfect, but it's certainly a good start. And anyway, I mean, it's a small business, and we're trying to look out for them. And something's going to come out of that. So I feel confident about that one.
I hope so.
And
You know, I grew up in Yazoo City, and from starting in the 8th grade, I worked at a little gift shop that was a pharmacy mainly.
right, right,
And I worked back in the pharmacy, but those pharmacists in Yazoo City, Max Sanders and Joe Mohammed, like they basically raised me from a kid. You know,
right,
they
right,
took care of me, they looked out for me.
right.
And, you know, those are the people who will wake up in the middle of the night and come get you something if you are desperate, or because they know you. They know
Absolutely.
your kids' names, they
Right,
know what drugs you take, they know you by heart, and that's the
right,
way this kind of small town feels, and that's
right.
what it's so great to live in a small town.
Yeah, and we had a little bit of research done, and eight independent pharmacies had closed last year, and I want to say we're up to three so far this year. And it's just the pushback is that the PBM lobby is huge, and uh, kind of a little back a couple years, I had met with Shad White, and we had discussed, Centene, which is the PBM for the state of Mississippi. And I told him, I said, he didn't know anything about a PBM. I mean, why would you if you're not kind of in that world? And
Right.
then we had a conversation at Primo's, and I said, look, here's kind of what they're doing. Here's what to look for. And he went after him, and he got $55 million back, and they paid it. And they paid it because, I mean, that's how much money they're making, right?
Yeah. The
And
drop in the bucket.
they are not out to help anybody but themselves. Of course, all that, and another thing, your independent pharmacy, the money stays here in the community, but the lobby is so big that they've pushed a lot of these big businesses like Ingalls Shipyard, things like that, say, oh well, if you mess with these PBMs, it's going to raise the cost, and they're scaring the business community, and they have been successful at that for the past, I think we've been doing it 3 years now, or this is the third year to try to do something. So, yeah, it's been pretty frustrating, but like I said, we've got something, and I think we'll definitely see, something pretty good come out of it.
So, Fred, I know the House had a version. It went to the Senate, and the Senate amended it.
Yeah,
Now, there's a group called SIP for PBM reform, and those are kind of the independent pharmacies.
right,
They are very much in favor of the Senate amendment,
right,
more so
right.
than the House version. Is there a compromise that the two
Yeah,
chambers can come to? You think?
yeah. I mean, I don't think it's a deal breaker, but so the big sticking point between the House and the Senate, we in the House, we had it to where it would go to the insurance department. The insurance department would be over it, right? And then
Mhm.
when it goes to the Senate, they wanted to leave it under the pharmacy board, which, I mean, in my opinion, that's what I'd want to do too. I was just trying to, move it across the Capitol. But that's the big. Do you leave it under the pharmacy board, or do you put it under the insurance department? I think
Mm.
that's the big, arguing point right now. But yeah, I think there's definitely a compromise to get something through.
I
So,
think
because
just
I
like
think they debated it for like 2 hours.
And just looking at it, you would think, of course, this would be pharmacy, but
Right.
when you know Big Pharma the way I do, you
Right.
don't trust
Exactly.
them. You just don't trust them.
Right. And I think the idea of putting it under, whoever came up with putting it under the insurance department, it's an insurance issue, but that would give the business community, it may kind of give them some say so, but that's the big sticking point between the two bills, the major thing between the two bills. So, but yeah, I think we're going to come up with something, kind of work it out. So,
I hope so, because I really hope to see some relief for these independent pharmacies.
absolutely.
They want got to be able to pay their staff and then also
Oh
provide
yeah.
for their own families. And after going to school for that long to become a pharmacist, where you've got to really know these medicines and take
Oh
care of
yeah.
patients, and then to have this kind of come up and it ruin your career and take your business down, I just think that's very unfair, and it's really
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So this would definitely give some, some relief. So I'm certainly pushing for it hard as I can. So
I hope we see something like that. We gotta take a break, but when we come back, I wanna talk about liquor because we know,
okay.
can Mississippi run without liquor sales? I don't know. I don't
Uh,
know. We'll see.
no, we can't.
Might dry us all right on out.
That's right.
But we gotta take a break. We will be right back here at WYAB 1039. We are joined by Representative Fred Shanks, and we are talking about, we're coming to the end of this legislative session, and we're gonna talk about what we think might actually come out of it. Y'all stay with us. We'll be right back here on the Lindsey Beckham Show. Lindsey Beckham Show.
Keep it tuned here to 103.9 WYAB.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Hot weather requires us to run the AC nonstop. Pure Air Consultants can inspect your unit today to ensure your AC is operating at peak performance. Pure Air Consultants is your go-to Rheem partner that can get the job done and have you resting in comfort in no time. Locally owned and operated, they have proudly served our community for over 22 years. Contact Pure Air Consultants today at mypureairconsultants.com. Rheem and Pure Air Consultants to the rescue.
Get ready, Louisiana! Johnny's Pizza House is turning up the heat with our sweet the swamp pizza. Packed with crawfish, shrimp, a taste of crab, andouille sausage, bell peppers, onions, jalapenos, and a blend of Cajun spices, all smothered in delicious mozzarella cheese. It's the perfect bite of the bayou and the perfect meal for any Cajun crave. Try our Cajun Flint or dive into a sweet the swamp pizza bowl. A taste of Louisiana flavor is waiting on you. Let's share a slice today at Johnny's Pizza House.
Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit americansforprosperity.org. Be a part of positive change at americansforprosperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
Doctor, the AC doctor, what's your diagnosis? My whole house was hot as a fever. Now my house frozen, cause my air conditioning's on. Doctor, my AC's broken. Doctor, the AC doctor, heal my house, bless my soul.
The AC Doctors is your one-stop provider for air conditioning and heating installation, service, and repair. Contact us for money-saving repairs and lower energy bills.
Doctor, the AC doctor, heal my house, bless my soul.
Google the AC Doctors and get some relief today. TheACDR.com.
Seeing well plays a big role in helping you read well. That's why it's not a minute too soon for students of all ages to schedule an eye exam with Dr. Bobby C. Pankey and Associates in Clinton and Richland. They can also help you with a great selection of frames, lenses, and contacts, all at affordable prices. See well, read well, do well. For all your back-to-school eye care needs, visit Optical 2000 Clinton and Richland. Optical-2000.com.
Stay in touch. Follow Optical 2000 on Facebook.
Hey, this is Ben Ingram from the Braves Radio Network. We're in commercial right now, so I want to let my sister take over and tell you about Hometown Property Group.
Thanks, Ben. This is Mary Claire Putman with Hometown Property Group. Whether you're buying or selling, we are committed to guiding you through your real estate transaction with integrity, exceptional service, and remarkable results. Madison County has been my home for 40 years. I'd love to help make it yours, too.
That's Hometown Property Group. Give them a call at 601-853-6080.
This ad is for all the guys who work hard and they expect their truck to do the same. At RPT Commercial, we have the accessories to help you on the job site. From names like Bedrock Flatbeds, WeatherGuard Toolboxes, Nap-High Service Bodies, ARE Camper Tops, Deck Storage Solutions, and so much more. Stop by our new store on Highway 80 in Pearl and check with our expert staff and see what they can do to make the job just a little bit easier on you. At RPT Commercial, trucks live here.
Welcome back into the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi studios. This is the Lindsey Beckham Show. I'm, of course, Lindsey Beckham. We are live here in Flora, Mississippi, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and X. You can also call in if you have anything you'd like to add to the show today, 601-879-0002. We are joined by one of my favorite representatives, and I'm sure yours as well, Mr. Fred Shanks from Rankin County. So, Fred, the liquor crisis has been
issue. It's huge. for many years, the House has pushed a bill to kind of privatize the ABC. And to the listeners that don't know what's going on, so there's one location where all the alcohol comes into Mississippi and then goes out to restaurants and liquor stores and things like that. It's in Gluckstadt, Canton area, and we've tried to privatize it the past few years. It hadn't really gone anywhere. We knew there were some issues with it.
Real quick, Fred, explain like what it means to privatize or how we do it now with the ABC kind of regulating it.
So right now, how it's done is all the liquor goes to a huge warehouse at the ABC warehouse, which we're building a new one. Now, why many years? We only have one in the state. Now, why many years ago we don't have three, one in the north, central, and south? I can't answer that. But, we had looked at trying to privatize it. And the last thing we were doing is we're building a big new building in Holmes County to do it. And we hire a company that gets paid by the case that they ship out. And I want to say they make somewhere around $25 million a year to run it.
Are these the people that have the conveyor belts?
Correct. So there's two. There's a delivery service in there, like running trucks, and then there's the service that's doing the conveyor belts. Actually running the warehouse. And we had been in several meetings with this. We started hearing from our constituents, like, look, something's going on over there. There's a backlog, and
they closed to do inventory, right? Like they.
Yeah, we heard that the conveyor belt. I first heard that conveyor belt was broken. Well, that's not really the case. And then we heard, well, it's at the end of its usefulness. And, maybe it is, but it's still working. But they wanted to go to, well, the way I understand it is they wanted to go to a new, like, pallet system. And the way it was explained to me is that, say, if you and I both had stores, that have one pallet for you, one pallet for my store, and delivery driver would just take it, take that one pallet into your store. Well, apparently now they just do, like, a pallet of Jim Beam, a pallet of Buffalo Trace, that kind of stuff. The driver then has to go through and, go through each pallet and do the order. And I'm sure that's taken you can't imagine how long that takes. But there's a serious backlog. It's very dire because the liquor store has to pay up front for their order, and say they order 30 cases, they may get 5.
But their money's tied up.
Right. So all their profit, their operating money, it's all tied up still at the warehouse. Now, the last I've heard, I talked to one of my store owners, talked to him Friday, is they're kind of catching up on the deliveries, but not really the backlog, right? So, so what we did is we came up with a bill.
Well, real quick, before you say that,
go ahead.
I think a lot of people don't realize this isn't just liquor stores. That this
no, restaurants, bars,
casino,
right?
This is where their major profit comes in.
Exactly.
They can't pay their staff. They've got all this money tied up in liquors that they're waiting on, they're not getting. So it's not just a few mom and pop liquor stores. This is a huge issue.
Oh yeah. It's the whole state, and people are asking for some relief, and we're trying to do something. So what we came up with is just, look, at first you said if you cannot get your delivery in 5 days, then you can go to ABC and get it yourself. Then we opened it up and said, look, you can just go, don't worry about the 5 days. You can go. And then we just took the gloves off and we sent this down to the Senate. And this is what we passed. It said, you can go to the manufacturer and cut a deal. You can, entrepreneurs are going to figure it out. And the tax would be less because it would be, I think they're taxed at like 27.5 right now per bottle, and it would be 15% if they went elsewhere. They're going to have to figure out
where is elsewhere. Where else could they?
No, if they go straight to the manufacturer, they go to another state, or if they go, it will be totally open to do whatever they need to do to
Before they could not do that. It had to be.
Oh, no. It has to. Yeah. Currently, right now, it has to go. ABC has to deliver it to you.
Okay.
But like I said, as we were progressing, we're like, well, like I said, if they can't get it, well, you can go get it yourself, or you can kind of get with a couple of, other liquor stores in your area and kind of come up with your own delivery, however you wanted to do it. The entrepreneurs are going to figure it out, and they're probably going to make a hell of a lot more money doing it too. But we just took the gloves off. If they want to go to another state, if they want to go straight to the manufacturer and cut a deal, however they want to do it, or any other distributor, figure it out, and you can do that. Because like I said, I mean, they're still not getting their orders. And, that's what's making the whole thing go around. So
Now, some states that don't have the kind of this governing factor like we do in Mississippi with the ABC, they have these distributors come in, almost like pharmaceutical sales would go in and go speak to doctors. It was like these liquor salesmen would come in and speak to the liquor store owners and the casino owners. But if it went to that sort of that form of sales, because we have so much rural area across the state of Mississippi, that would increase the prices. Correct? Am I correct on that? Or not?
No, well, like I said, they probably end up getting it cheaper. Buying it cheaper. If they're buying it direct, they're probably, now the shipping is going to be an issue. They're going to have to figure that out. We are just cutting the red tape and allowing them to just go at it 100 miles an hour. And, because the situation is so dire. I mean, do what you got to do to get it. And that's basically what we're doing. Right now, we had a 2-year repealer, meaning we would call it back in 2 years to see how it was going, if any changes need to be made. The only thing I've heard is maybe the Senate is last I heard they like the bill, they're okay with it.
Hasn't passed the Senate yet. Passed the House, has not passed the Senate.
Correct. The only thing I've heard is I think it'll go to conference. Is they kind of wanted more like a 1-year repealer. In my opinion. People get a taste of.
Give it time to work out the kinks before.
Yeah. In either way, whatever. At least we're trying to cut the red tape for these folks to get their product, get it on the shelf. And then once everybody gets a little taste of free enterprise, I don't see it going back. And we do have a new building, and we'll sell that thing.
Choice, Fred. As soon as they got a taste of that freedom, the free market works. Now I'm all for the free market, but
yeah. Well,
we'll stop it right there. We did get a question for you, Fred.
Yeah.
Is there a process in place or an individual that determines who gets their allotment of alcohol? Is it fairly distributed?
That is a good question, and I actually had a call on that Friday. And from the call, based on the call I got Friday from a store owner, I don't think it's even. He was telling me that a fairly new store got something like 1,000 cases, whereas he's stuck getting, just a small percentage of that. And, I'm going to call over there and kind of see what's going on this week. But that's what we're hearing from ABC is that, like I said, they're currently delivering, still got a backlog trying to work through, but I don't think it's fair from what I've been hearing.
So is it based on who orders the most or who ordered first, or you have any idea?
That's a good question, and that's what I want to find out, because something's going on. And the whole time we've been dealing with ABC, I mean, I'm just being straight up. I mean, they've not been shooting us straight. So there could be some issues right there. It could be one of those kind of deals on who I don't know, but I'm going to be finding out.
Now, I think one idea that was tossed around, and I thought this made sense, is why not let the casinos, because they're such a huge part of the alcohol sales in the state, be able to get theirs elsewhere, and then that would free up this other.
Well, yeah, I mean that's a good point, and obviously they're hurting pretty big, and that very well could happen just organically by us opening things up. Yeah, and because it's certainly going to take the load off ABC if they do that, and they're going to obviously. I mean, they've got the ways and means to ship and to receive orders and all that kind of stuff. I think that would happen organically. I really do. And that's a good point. And yeah, that now and currently the people who are at the folks who run ABC now. I mean, like I said, they get paid by case per case, so it's not like we're going to be, if people go elsewhere to get their liquor, it would be their choice. It's not like we're still going to be paying them the same amount, so it would work out.
I guess when you look at some of these these mom and pop liquor stores, these locally owned, almost kind of like the independent pharmacist,
Yeah.
they can't afford the shipping costs because these
Right.
pallets are huge.
Right.
And
Right.
how much of the cost to ship something like
Yeah.
that, which of course, if there's an increase in shipping, that's going to trickle down to the customer paying
Yeah.
more, obviously. So I mean, I don't know, but to me, that seems like a reasonable way to work things out is have your bigger casino type
Yeah.
places order because I mean, really, does the shipping really hurt them?
No,
And
probably not. I mean, and like I said, I mean, more than likely they've already got something in place. I'm sure it's a humongous moneymaker for them. They'll have it figured out, and that's a good point. I mean, you say they do what we're allowing them to do by passing this bill, and and that would obviously free up a lot of what ABC's doing, and that very well could make it more manageable for the
right.
people who are currently running ABC. So yeah, absolutely.
Do you know how much of the backlog they've caught up on so far?
I do know that they were saying they would be caught up, I think, in another month or two was the last I had heard.
We've heard that a
So
couple of times, though, right?
yeah. Well, true. And what does that mean? I mean, how many people are hung up in that? I mean, I got a lot of
Right.
questions about that. But I heard, and I heard it several weeks ago. So maybe in another month they were going to be caught up. But I don't know how accurate that is. That's just what they were telling us. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
I would immediately think it would take longer than that to get caught up from dealing with them in the past.
It's a mess. It's definitely
It
been a
is.
mess. So hopefully we can get some relief, not only to our independent pharmacists, but also to
Right.
these independent liquor store owners and, restaurant owners, because that's just
Oh,
a huge
absolutely.
part of what they bring in
Right.
on a
Right.
daily basis. So
Yeah.
we got to take another break, but y'all stay with us. There's lots more to talk about. I'm going to get Fred's honest opinion of what he thinks will be the biggest part or the biggest thing to come out of this legislative session. What's going to be turned into law? What will be new law in our state, or what will we stop? Because sometimes that's more important than passing laws,
Right.
stopping the bad ones. So y'all stay with us. We got to take this break. Y'all, we'll be right back here. WIB 1039, The Lindsey Beckham Show.
WIAB.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Hot weather requires us to run the AC nonstop. Pure Air Consultants can inspect your unit today to ensure your AC is operating at peak performance. Pure Air Consultants is your go-to Rheem partner that can get the job done and have you resting in comfort in no time. Locally owned and operated, they have proudly served our community for over 22 years. Contact Pure Air Consultants today at mypureairconsultants.com. Rheem and Pure Air Consultants to the rescue.
Get ready, Louisiana! Johnny's Pizza House is turning up the heat with our sweet the swamp pizza. Packed with crawfish, shrimp, a taste of crab, andouille sausage, bell peppers, onions, jalapenos, and a blend of Cajun spices, all smothered in delicious mozzarella cheese. It's the perfect bite of the bayou and the perfect meal for any Cajun crave. Try our Cajun flip or dive into a sweet the swamp pizza bowl. A taste of Louisiana flavor is waiting on you. Let's share a slice today at Johnny's Pizza House.
Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit americansforprosperity.org. Be a part of positive change at americansforprosperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
CBS News Brief. President Trump is expressing some frustration with allies who haven't signed on to his request to help secure the Strait of Hormuz.
If we need their mine boats, or if we need anything, any piece of apparatus that they may have because of a situation that they have, they should be jumping to help us, because we've helped them for years stay out of wars.
Trump said his chief of staff, Susie Wiles, has been diagnosed with early-stage breast cancer, but will continue working during her treatment. There is the potential for severe storms in the mid-Atlantic today as a powerful system sweeps east, Across the country, there are long lines at Atlanta's Hartsfield Airport. That's due to TSA workers. Many are calling in sick. CBS's Mark Strassman.
Since the start of the government's funding lapse, more than 300 TSA employees have quit, and call-out rates have more than doubled, according to data obtained exclusively by CBS News.
CBS News Brief, I'm Cammie McCormick.
Did you get us switched over to shelter insurance?
Actually, I found a deal online.
You did? Does your deal come with award-winning customer service?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Does the deal include a local agent?
Doesn't actually say.
Can we create a customized plan that fits our needs? Let's just call the local shelter agent.
For insurance that fits just right, find a shelter agent near you.
Located in Ridgeland and Flora, come see me, Jamie Creel, Shelter Insurance.
Dr. Mike Stonington here from Stonington Farm Grass-Fed Beef. Here in South Mississippi on Stonington Farm, our steers are grass-fed and grass-finished. No grain, no hormones, no antibiotics, no mRNA vaccines. Our grass-fed and grass-finished beef is straight from our farm to your table. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and at StoningtonFarm.com. That's StoningtonFarm.com with 2 N's. And we deliver every 4 weeks to the Jackson area. We are the grass-fed difference.
Even with interest rates higher than recent norms, real estate values are still holding strong in Mississippi. We caught up again with one of Mississippi's top real estate agents, Shane Saxon, to explain his recent activity in the market.
In the last year or so, it's been the best of my career. Interest rates have been high, but the real estate market is here to stay. Land values especially are continuing to rise. Home values are holding. If you need help with anything in real estate, just give me a call.
Find Shane Saxon on Facebook or give him a call at 601-540-5040. Hopper Property, 601-724-1435.
Health has always been reactive, focused on fixing problems as they happen. But with Blue Primary Care, we're taking a proactive approach, working with you to help you understand your health and empowering you to be healthy. It's time to prioritize you, your health, and your life. The results? Less worrying and more living. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Mississippi. It's good to be blue.
Got electrical problems? Marty Cowden and Cowden Electric are here for you. Cowden Electric is your trusted electrician, serving the Jackson area for 3 decades. Electrical repair, service, and home rewiring are just the start of what Cowden Electric can do. Cowden Electric also installs generators to keep your power going when everyone else's lights are out. Plus, LED lighting, remodels, new construction, no job is too small. Visit CowdenElectric.com today to see all that they do. Cowden Electric, powering your home and business. Come together.
Welcome back into the Lindsey Beckham Show. We are live here in the Men's Health and Women's Wellness. Goodness, getting tongue-tied here today of Mississippi Studios. We are joined live by Representative Fred Shanks, where we have been discussing this legislative session that's beginning to wind down a little bit. Now, Fred, of course, I told you I know nothing about this whole NIL, NIH. What is it? I don't even,
NIL. So, just real quick, the NIL right now, in my opinion, is just absolutely destroyed in college sports. It's all about money.
With the transfer portal and see.
Yeah, it's crazy. So one of the things that we had discussed that kind of, we brought a bill up, but I'm not quite sure. I think it more likely it's dead in the Senate at this point. But in fact, it was Jonathan McMillan. He had a bill. I had a bill, and what it would do is it would have for the students or the student athletes that got money, they would have to pay taxes on it. So you got to think now. You're not talking about a lot of money at all in the grand scheme of things, but it would have
high school students.
No. There was a bill that thing died as it should have. Now this is college level, but Texas, Tennessee, and Florida don't have state income tax. And we're currently trying to eliminate state income tax in Mississippi. Although it's taken a while, it's going to take a while. It's a lot longer than I would like it to take. Mm-hmm. But one of the things to make us more competitive that we came up with was to do this. Some other states have done it. And for the amount you lose in taxes, it pays off like tenfold. And we know that one playoff game at Ole Miss brought in $78 million. Well, so it's more. All it would do was just increase revenue in the state. And but now people got upset about it and started complaining. And I really think the political climate of what's going on.
Uh-oh. Not sure what happened there. See if we can get Fred back on. You there, Fred?
Oh yeah. Sorry,
Oh,
a call was coming something, so my bad on that. But yeah, anyway, that's kind of where we're at on that one. Unfortunately, I mean, I think it's dead, but due to like just kind of how things are going in the House and the Senate, people really got upset about it, and so we'll kind of hang tight on that one.
okay, let's like pivot a second to the teacher pay raise.
Right.
So what I have tried to do, and I know a lot of people were concerned prior to this session. Let's see. Hold on. We have a call coming in. It might be a question for you.
Okay.
Hey there. You're on the air.
Yes, I wanted you to ask your guest. I just heard the tail end of the liquor wine deal, ABC. Why can't our grocery stores sell wine and stuff?
Okay, yeah, I'll ask him that.
Yeah.
Why can't our grocery stores sell wine and stuff?
Okay, I'll ask him that question. Fred, why can't our grocery stores sell wine?
That's just the way it's always been. Now we have a bill that would allow that. I'm not quite sure. It passed the House. I'm not quite sure the status of it in the Senate, but we had had that because when you go out of town or you go to the beach, you can stop at the grocery store and you can get everything there.
And sometimes on Sundays as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was. I mean, to my opinion, it was the liquor stores that kind of just protected themselves as to why that never passed because that would have to be a law. You'd have to change the law there. But like I said, we have a bill. I'll get back to you, but let me double check the status of that one. But I know that we passed it in the House to do that.
And there's been a bill several sessions, and I know.
Oh yeah,
Shonda. Am I saying, is that her? What's her last name? Has brought a bill several sessions about just even being able to ship to homes.
Right, it's a direct ship.
Yeah,
we did that. We did that one also. So it's in the Senate right now too. I'm on State Affairs Committee, which is chaired by Hank Zuber, who's a cool guy from the coast, and we do a ton of liquor bills in there. That's about the majority of what we do. We handle a lot of that. So, but yeah, good question. Like I said, we passed something in the House, but I just don't know currently kind of what the status is in the Senate on that.
Gotcha. Well, prior to session, there was a lot of talk about teacher pay raise being lumped in with a school choice bill.
Right.
That did not happen. And I very much respect Speaker Jason White and Chairman of the Education Committee over in the House, Rob Robertson, because they said they didn't want to do that. They didn't want to put that on the members of the House to force them to vote for something they didn't want or their constituents didn't want just to get the teacher pay raise. Now, there was a standalone bill initially from the House, a $5,000 teacher pay raise bill. And then, like you said, day one, the Senate passed a standalone teacher pay raise bill for $2,000. Now, when those passed to the other chamber, they were both killed.
Yeah.
So what has happened now is that the House has taken a Senate bill, which I wish I would have chosen another one. I really needed that bill to pass. I really wanted that counselor bill. We need that desperately. But you did a strike all and you put the language for the teacher pay raise back into this $5,000 teacher pay raise. I think it was $7,000 for special needs teachers. There was something for teachers assistants and then also for, I think, attendance officers, maybe something else.
School resource officers, right?
School resource officers, okay. The SROs. So, which we desperately need more of, by the way.
Yeah.
And that was sent back over to the Senate. Then we saw the Senate kind of like, it's like we're trying to trump each other here, I feel like.
Yeah. Again, this is something that I would have preferred we started out tackling that. Another big thing that it constantly gets talked to, and it gets lumped in with that too, is PERS, which is our employee, the state retirement system. Have some funding for that. And then the big thing that I was pushing for and that we're working on now is for like law enforcement or first responders is lowering that retirement age because it had got bumped up to like 30 plus years, which is just insane.
When's the
And
last
Gene
time
New
they got a pay raise? The first
uh,
responders.
well, there's some standalone stuff, yes, because on first responders.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, because you got state employees like anybody under the Department of Public Safety, but
Mm-hmm.
then most police officers are going to be working for a town or
Okay.
a county,
Gotcha.
right? So you can't really do that, so to speak, with on the local side. But
Okay.
we were looking at that, and yeah, they got lumped in again. I was really hoping we could work something out really at the beginning of the session on this. I thought it would have been one of the most kind of top three things that we're going to be working on for teacher pay raise, and then of course that some funding issues for PERS. We had passed mobile sports betting on the House side again. I think we've been doing it for 3 years now, and that would have generated what we were wanting to do is take that money and kick a lot of it into PERS because it's got a lot of unfunded liability going on with it right now. So
Because what people have to realize is that as we phase out the income tax, there's got to be money
right,
coming from somewhere to
absolutely,
fund these things.
absolutely.
When we look at teacher pay raise, Fred, I wanted to talk about the pay raise bill that was passed 3-4 years ago, which was the largest teacher
Oh yeah,
pay
2022, right. That one was high. That one got us ahead of the southeast average.
Right.
Obviously, it's the biggest one in the state of Mississippi that we'd ever done at that point. But yeah, that was in 2022, and we had done one. I swear, like we'd done one every year up until that point, and then some even past that. But yeah,
Correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I understand, that bill back in 2022 gave the teachers an annual pay raise and then an even bigger bump up every 5th year. Is that correct?
ooh, I can't remember. It might have, but I can't remember the specifics of it. I mean, I just know it took everybody above. Well, then sure enough, we did that one in the next year or two. Then all the other states around started doing theirs as
Right.
well. And the
Right.
same thing we did. We did DPS one a couple years ago when Capitol Police was coming in, and you know. A lot of officers started going there. It's kind of the same situation.
Mhm.
And then, now it forced all the cities and counties to bump there, which they needed to, but bump their law enforcement pay up as well as other first responders too. So
Yeah. Shaun and I fight about we butt heads on this, but
no, I don't
I
believe that.
you know. Well, I think, and I don't know how this would actually how we could make it work, but there's got to be a way. I don't just agree with across the board teacher pay raises. There are
That
some
that
that
yeah,
there's
that
some
got
that
brought
work,
up.
yeah,
Yeah,
there's some that work in these districts where they're failing districts and there's such teacher
right,
shortages. The responsibility on those teachers is much more.
right.
And why there's got to be a way. There's got to be a merit-based or responsibility-based way to do this.
Right. I agree with you. And that again, I think the reason why that wasn't this year is because of just how tense everything got between the two sides of the legislature. I really do. I think it was a little bit of one-upmanship. You do this, we're going to do this, and try to have a contest, and I think we could have probably done something like that had we done this at the beginning of session. So,
'Cause, I mean,
but yeah, and I hear a lot of people that say that, there's a lot pros and cons on both sides of that issue you just brought up.
there are teachers I know that I feel like deserve $1 million a year.
Sure,
And
sure.
then there are some that I don't think deserve pennies. So,
Right. Yeah,
and I think that's the way in every profession. You
yeah,
just got some great people in that profession and some bad apples.
yeah,
But to just give an across the board, it make it all
yeah.
equal.
Well, and two, that you got a point there, and what a lot of people don't know is we spend 60% of our budget on education.
Absolutely.
I
And,
mean, that's
more every single year. In fact, in the
right.
last 10 years, we've gone from 3 point something billion to 5.2 something billion. So, I mean, it's just constantly
Yeah.
more and less students are being educated in the public
Yeah,
schools.
yeah, yeah. And COVID comes in and totally messes, everything up there. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean that's another point, But a lot of people don't know that's they complain a lot like, oh, you're not funding education, which we are with our new funding that we did. Because the old funding system, man, you had to be a rocket science scientists to figure that thing out. The one guy who knew how to do it was the guy who wrote it. It was terrible. But anyway, we've changed that funding. The current funding is, I mean, we're hitting those goals. So,
Well, Fred, we got to take our last break. I'm going to go ahead and let you go. I know you got to get over to the Capitol, but thank you so very much for coming
oh yeah,
on.
anytime. Hey,
I
one thing to
appreciate
leave on. I got
Yeah.
something I'm working on. You may like called term limits.
I like it. I like it. Get rid of all those career politicians. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Fred. We
All
appreciate
right. Talk
it.
to you later.
All right, bye. We got to take our last break. Y'all stay with us. We'll be right back here to wrap things up today on the Lindsey Beckham Show.
From hunting ground to your front door key, call the landman of Mississippi. Tom Smith Land and Homes, yeah, the landman's who you need. Brought to you by Tom and Ellen Smith. Tom Smith Land and Homes, that's it.
Yazoo Valley Electric Power Association wants you to stay away from downed power lines. Downed power lines carry the risk of deadly electric shock, even if the broken wire is not sparking. If a wire is crossing a road or driveway, avoid the area and keep others away. If you see a downed power line, back away and call your utility company or 911. When you call, be prepared to provide the specific address or location of the downed power line so a repair crew can get there as quickly as possible. This safety message brought to you by Yazoo Valley Electric Power Association.
We are back. We've got just a few seconds left. Huge thanks to Representative Fred Shanks for being on today and going through everything that has been going on down at our Capitol during this legislative session. I will be back tomorrow, same time, same place, for Pour It Out Tuesday with Morgan Charleigh right here in the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi studio. Don't miss it. Bye.